Oh, hey, what is up, everybody? It's Odin here. Tired Odin because snow be coming down. The darkness fell, but it kept coming down. I was kind of waiting for a break to shovel. Um, and shoveled the shit out of my driveway so I could get out, go to the store because necessity being the mother of invention. I wasn't terribly inventive, but I was motivated for beer. I was out of beer. And despite the roads being absolute dog shit, braved the conditions, shoveled my driveway, and got myself some moose drool. There you go, moose drool. From a Montana brewery. Big Sky Brewery out in Montana. Oh, man. And I'm tired. There's a lot of shoveling, a lot of snow. I'd say we probably got 16 to 18 inches. Just today. And that was on top of what we already had, So yeah, anyway, and then I said, why not make a video talking about how shitty all this snow is, or how awesome it's going to be when you get on the mountain and go snowboarding with the girls. That'll be cool. Anyway, yeah, so I'm tired. But just a little update last night. Well, let's just say yesterday, stayed home from work. Today I stayed home from work. Inclement weather reasons. Yesterday because it was so icy out. There wasn't a ton of snow, but I didn't have my snow tires on yet, and I was slip sliding all over the place, just like Paul Simon, slip sliding away. And I called work. I said, I got to get these snow tires on. I've been trying for a while. It was like, I have to work during the day, and their first come, first serve. So I showed up in the afternoon. They'd be like, we can't get to you. And then Saturday on the weekend, I'm like, today's the day. I got there early. They opened at 9. I was there about 9:30. They're like, oh, we're already backed up. We're too backed up. Can't get to you. I was like, what the hell, man? So then Monday, the roads were good enough. I got to work, no problem. Got home. It was a little slick, but no big deal. And then Tuesday, yesterday, I leave. I go to the gas station. I'm just all over the place. It's like there's no plows. I don't know. They used to be on top of it when it was barely snowing. Now it's like crazy, and there's no plows out. So, and it's almost like instead of de-icer, they just threw down water. Because I'm just sliding all over the place, and I go, God, I gotta get these snow tires on. So yesterday I called work. I'm like, I'm going to go super early. I'm going to get there early. I'm going to get these tires on. I'm not leaving. So anyway, I get there 8:20. They open at 9. I get there at 8:20, and I'm like 12th person in line. And they said, okay, well, leave your number. We'll call you when we're 20 minutes away from being able to put your snow tires on. I already have the tires. One of these days, I would just put them on their own wheels, and I could do it in my own garage and just change the wheels. But as it stands, I just have the tires, and I need a shop to do that for me. So they close at 6. I get a call at 5:30, 6 p.m. Get a call at 5:30 p.m. Hey, sorry, bro. We're not able to get to you. But if you come in early, first thing tomorrow, you will be the first to get your tires done. I was like, fuck, all right. So I call work. I say, yeah, we got at least a half day. I got to get these tires on. And they promised me I'd be first in line in the morning. So overnight, we get 6 to 8 inches or something. And like I said, like no plows. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I'm in my normal tires. It's a straight shot. If I go down, there's a road right here. If I just take that road, I get to the tire place. Maybe like 4 miles. But on that road, there's a hill and then a swoop, and then it goes back up a hill. Pretty steep hills. Getting down, I wasn't too worried. I just put it in low gear. Hope I don't go off in the ditch. Getting up that other hill, that was my big concern. And there is pretty decent ditches on each side, so I was like, And the last thing I want is to get stuck in the bowl and not be able to get out. So then I went all the way around, taking all the main roads, which are still horrible. Just slick as fuck because they're like semi-plowed because people driving on them. And I get to the tire place. I left my house at like 8. I get there at like 8:45 because all these side roads and people going slow and everything going slow. And sure enough, they got me in. They got my snow tires on. But even with the snow tires on, getting back to my house was a nightmare. And but we made it back. I called work. I'm like, look, it took everything I had just to get here, even in the snow tires. I'm not. So then all day today, it's just it's not stopped. So probably looking at like 16 to 18 inches. And like I said, I just shoveled, just went to the store, got my beer. Chances of me going to work tomorrow again are pretty slim. Even though I feel bad, like this would be 3 days in a row. Yeah, I probably got to go tomorrow. Somehow, I got to find a way. Hoping that they actually plow. I shoveled myself enough that I can get out onto my road. And they did come by with a cat, kind of plow that. But then I had to shovel like crazy just because they plowed my driveway in. All this hard, compact snow. But do it now before it turns into ice. So yeah, that was my evening, and like I said, darkness fell. But yesterday, in the evening, after I knew I wasn't getting my tires, I was twiddling my thumbs waiting for J-Bot to send me a link for the Tuesday night art jam, and never got one. And I was like, well, sometimes he's kind of late. And there was the one time he passed out and forgot. So I was like, maybe that's what happened. Then finally, after time came and went, I went and checked his Twitter page, his actual page, and he made a post like hours earlier saying there's no Tuesday night art jam. He's out of town, vacation, visiting. I don't know what he's doing, but enjoy your time, J-Bot. I hope it's awesome. And so no Tuesday night art jam yesterday, no Tuesday night art jam next week. And so I went, all right, let's start on a new page. That's what we've been working on. And forgot that death metal hero Luke and Jason Bascom Unhinged Art, that they do topic lists on Tuesday nights. And they sent me a link a couple weeks ago. I want to go on there and hang out with those guys. They're the coolest. And I couldn't make it the first time they sent it. It was a few weeks ago because I had another stream. Then I had J-Bot's, art jam. And then this week, after I found out there was no art jam, I just kind of like, well, let's start drawing. And I quit paying attention to Twitter. And I woke up this morning and Jason had sent me a link to the topic list show. And I missed it. And it would have been a perfect night because I had nothing really going on. That said, I told him next Tuesday, I will be there. I want to hang out with these guys. I want to draw on that stream, hang out with some of the cool, and then whoever else shows up. They get several people in there, but definitely two of the coolest people in this sphere that we operate in. And so looking forward to that. Next Tuesday night, topic lists on either Luke's channel or Jason's channel. Not sure which one, but either way, I will do my best to be there. Have it on my calendar even, so. That said, it's been an interesting day. But getting some art done. Unconditional shove, we're moving right along. Last I checked, we're at 87% to our funding goal. Over $3,500, looking to get to that $4,000 goal. We did extend it another 30 days, so we've got, I think, 28 more days of the extension. And I'm sure we'll make it. I believe we'll make it. And we did a sale. So up until we did this sale, that Unconditional fanny pack I found out that fanny means something different in other countries from Michael Bancroft. He called it a front bum. It's a very nice term. I called it the honey pot, but I think we all know what we're talking about here. But apparently fanny means something somewhere else. So jokingly, I call it the Unconditional Fanny Pack, but it's called the Unconditional Fan Pack, and it is a page of original interior art from the book. Your choice. First come, first serve. So the first person who gets that tier gets their choice, and then on down the line. And up until we did the sale, 0 people had claimed that tier. And I thought it was a pretty good price. $250 gets you the original art piece, plus a copy of the black and white and a copy of the full color version of the book for $250. I thought that was a good price. Now, it is back at that price now. But for Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday weekend, all that shit, we ran a sale and we knocked that thing down $100. 40% off, down to $150 for that art tier. And we got two backers off of that, which is awesome. You know who you are. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. And you got a screaming deal. And the first person who backed that gets their choice, interior page. Second person gets their choice of everything but what the first person took. So now we have at least 2 people getting pages from this book. We're back to the normal price, but I will show you. This one may go for one of those 2 people, but I'm using this for reference on the page I'm working on. But this was a favorite of a lot of people. I wouldn't call it a splash page because there's several panels, but pretty close, and there's a lot going on. Very cool page. It's one of those things. I hate to part with any of these pages. They're all like a part of me. Put my heart and soul into this stuff. But it is such a cool concept to think that somebody wanted to throw down a decent amount of money to make sure they had a piece of Unconditional Shove history. And more than happy to give these away to people who do that, who throw that considerable amount of money down. But that is just one out of 80 plus. Got whole stacks of them over here, and your choice. So yeah, and I'm holding these in my hand. I found these cleaning up the other day. They're they're tokens. You can give them out, and I've got two fucks to give. I found these cleaning up, but it was interesting because I got these almost a year ago to the day. I got them in Alaska, visiting my brother. My awesome brother Tyson lives up in Alaska, just north of Anchorage, and he was getting married, and I went up there with it was my fiance at the time, my ex. We flew out there almost a year ago today. I can't remember his exact anniversary. I think in November 17th, but right around this time of year. And it was funny because I was thinking about it, with all the snow we've been getting. They had a storm. They hadn't had any snow when we went out. And then, boom, right when we visited, just a whiteout snowstorm driving from the airport to see my brother. And it's a few hours, away. Everything's far away in Alaska. And a few hours from the airport, but I'm in a rental car. You don't know how, you're not used to how they handle. I don't know the roads. I don't know where I'm going. And a whiteout blizzard, and everybody else there, they're used to snow all the time, so they're just like flying past me, like doing what I had to do. But again, I wasn't used to the car. I had no idea the roads, where I was going. Following the navigation. Which, thank God we have those nowadays. Man, it's a whole different story when you have to, pull out the, atlas. Can't think of the other term. Whatever they're called, maps, basically. So, yeah, and then Well, like I said, I was there with my ex and met my sister up there for my brother's wedding. It's cold, much colder than it is here. We got a little more snow than they got, I think, at that time. But man, it was cold, and yeah, like we were out there putting lights and cans and stuff on his car, and we had to do it in shifts because it's just like just freezing your ass off. There, like, all right, that's all I can handle. You go do the rest. And my ex and I were rotating, but it was fun. And brother married a good woman. I'm very happy for them. So they're celebrating, or they celebrated their year anniversary. So congratulations, Tyson and Lindsay. Awesome, awesome people. Uh, Obviously, I love my brother to death, but he met a very awesome woman, and their families combined, Brady Bunch style, and I'm sure this last year has been pretty cool. A whole new ball game for him. But that got me thinking. That was almost exactly a year ago, little over a year ago, and how much life can happen in a year. So I got these at it was a candle gift shop. We were driving back to the airport, and I had to take a piss. But then I was like, oh, I also got to get some souvenirs for the girls. And when I was checking out, they had these at the counter, and I think they were like 50 cents or $1 or 25 cents. I don't know. They were cheap. And so I bought a couple. I think I've already given out a few fucks. I've got 2 fucks left to give. But like I said, it got me thinking about a year ago today, or this time in Alaska. Life was completely different at that time for me. Everybody who's I've met in the CG sphere and the streaming and this world, it's all relatively recent, if I think about it. And at the time, I was working on Unconditional Shove, but there wasn't like this motivation thing. It was just like, I'm going to make this book. I was working on the one story. I hadn't decided to do 2 stories. I was just going to do the one. I'm going to make this book, Unconditional Shove. And the first story's been called Monsters Exist. And I was drawing it. I had it all written out, and I was drawing on it. I don't know how far I was. I can't remember. But, so that was going to be a thing. But I didn't think, I don't know, maybe I did. But, in a year's time, I would be here, right in the thick of crowdfunding this book. I didn't think I would meet James and hook up with Broken Compass Comics. I didn't think I'd meet 80s Made Consumer and stream with him quite often and meet a lot of people that way. I didn't think any of that. But at the time, like I said, I was engaged. That's no longer a thing. And at the time, I remember at my brother's wedding, being on the phone with my dad, he just visited my brother like a month or 2 before, so he didn't make it out for the wedding, but they were live casting it on Facebook. And I remember being on the phone with my dad at the church there and walking him through how to watch it. He's old man, and he was always very tech savvy, but like social media savvy, not so much. So I remember that. So yeah, and I've talked about it here before, but November or January 1st, New Year's Day of this year, my dad passed away. And like I said, I broke up with my fiance at the time, broke up with her. And in that year's time, like I said, started really getting the ball rolling on Unconditional Shove. I've had other things going on. My daughters and their mom are in Missouri now. That happened last month. And that's new. And so it's been the longest stretch I've gone without seeing my daughters. I will get them for Christmas break. And that's kind of the thing. I'll get them on all their breaks. Spring, summer, Christmas. And I remember I made a video a while back. I deleted it because just like this one, I got a little personal, maybe way more personal on that one, but I ended up deleting it. But I uploaded it for a while. But when I first heard that their mom was going to move to Missouri, I'm like, what the heck am I doing in Spokane? You know, like I moved here when we were married. We bought some property. We were going to homestead on it, and we did. And then she did after we divorced, and that's how we wanted to raise the girls, and that's how they were getting raised. And I just thought that would be the case, you know, until the girls grew up at least. And you know, so I settled it in my mind. You're in Spokane. This is your home for the foreseeable future. Well, the foreseeable future ended a lot faster than I thought it would when she's like, I want to move to Missouri. And at the time when she brought it up, I was engaged, and I'm like, no, you're not moving. But after the engagement ended, I was like, okay, I got all of her reasoning for wanting to move. I'm not going to get into all that, but like it made sense, and I was fine with it. But that said, I'm like, how attached to Spokane am I? I got really settled here. I got used to living here, but so I made this video a while back, and the map here, as you can see, this is the United States. I didn't have like things in the way, and my desk was further over. But I went, I got a dart, and I said, you know, who knows where I'm gonna live? I mean, everything's up in the air. You know, what's the difference me having my girls on these breaks, whether I live here or whether I live anywhere? And originally from Colorado, probably said that a bunch of times. Grew up there until I was 27, then we moved out here. And so I took a dart, and I'm not that good of aim. I just aimed for the U.S. and threw it really hard. But it landed in Colorado. And I thought, maybe we move to Colorado, because that's what I was doing. Like, where am I going to move? Where am I going to live? And it's still completely up in the air. I don't know. All I know is my daughters are in Missouri. They love it there. They've already, you know, acclimated. They started school. They're getting friends. You know, their mom sold the property here that she got, you know, in the divorce and everything. And money goes a lot further in Missouri. We'll just say that. Things are cheaper there. And so she bought this really nice house on a nice little piece of land, and they're really enjoying it. Now, that said, I'm still stuck here in Spokane. I'm like, what am I doing here, you know? So as I'm trying to figure this out, I've never been to Missouri in my entire life. I have no desire to live there except that my kids are there. So I'll get the girls for Christmas. We'll have a great time. And then I would normally get them for spring break. But I am actually going to go there for spring break and find out what the fuck is Missouri all about. You know, I hear mostly people talking shit about it. Like, oh, it's horrible, you know. But different people look for different things. And I can't say anything till I've been there. So that's the plan. Then we'll kind of go from there. But I'm excited to have the girls for Christmas. They've been talking, I mean, they just texted me this morning, like, we want to go snowboarding a lot while we're there. And I'm like, all right. So that's what we'll do. With all this snow we're getting early in the winter, the snowboarding, right off the rip. Because I remember last year, my one daughter has a birthday in December, and she wanted to go snowboarding for her birthday, and there was just like no snow, you know. It's like, you can't snowboard on dirt, you know. There's no snow on the mountains. You know, the snow came later, and we ended up getting a full season in of going. But yeah, this year she's gonna be gone for her birthday, but they'll be here for Christmas, and it'll be we'll definitely be able to go early in the season. So I jokingly made a video the other day, a short video talking about, like, yeah, maybe I stay home from work and go up to the mountain and go snowboarding. Well, they're not even open yet, at least not Mount Spokane, where I normally go, which is a straight shot for me. Like, I live basically on the highway that goes to Mount Spokane, and I'm like, I can just go. I'm right there to the mountain. But their opening day isn't until December 2nd. Now, last year we had passes to Silver Mountain, which is in Idaho. Um, it's a lot further away. It's more expensive resort. Um, but so here's the deal. Like, I wasn't even into snowboarding. I grew up in Colorado. My whole life, 27 years of living in Colorado, I never once went skiing or snowboarding. Everybody in Colorado apparently goes skiing or snowboarding, but there's a lot of us that don't. So then I moved here, and it's a thing out here too. Not as much as Colorado, but you know, there's resorts, there's mountains, and everybody's like, "Hey, we love snowboarding. You're from Colorado. Why don't you go?" And I'm like, "It's not my thing. You know, I'm not into it." And they're like, "Oh, I just assumed because you were from Colorado." But it was actually my ex, the one I was engaged to. It was her thing. She was all about it. And every year, so she was a tax accountant. Well, she's still a tax, as far as I know. You know, like, I'm assuming she still does that. So in the winter, just super busy. Anybody who knows tax season is insanely busy if you do taxes. And you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time by just putting your head down and fucking doing the work. And she did that. She was hardcore, and she made a lot of money and did a lot of work and never had a moment to breathe, except for the one allowance she had was on the weekends. She would go up to the mountains and go snowboarding. And so when we were together, I'm like, if I want any kind of a relationship with her while we're in tax season, I got to take up snowboarding. And then got the girls involved. They loved it, of course. I mean, it's not the easiest hobby to get into when you're, 40 plus. But you know, I got to where I was good enough to get down the mountain without. I mean, the first time I went, which was 2 years ago, started small. We went a few times 2 years ago, and that first time was brutal. I'm like, how is this fun? I just fall down. It's hard to get back up when you got a snowboard strapped to your feet. But so anyway, yeah, and then last season we had the season passes to anyway, I got good enough that, and the girls got good enough, it was enjoyable. Got the season passes to Silver Mountain because she's like, "Oh, that's where all my friends go." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." If I get Silver Mountain, though, you got to like take this gondola. So like the resort is here at the bottom of the mountain. You drive in, you get there, you load up all your gear, you get on the gondola. Now, the gondola ride is like, it seems like forever. It's like at least a half hour. It seems like 45 minutes or something. And you're just sitting there, and then you get to the top and get all your shit ready and go snowboarding. But then at the end of the day, when they close all the runs, there's this huge long line of everybody trying to get on the gondola to get back down the mountain. So like I said, the resort's down here. At the top is the ski lodge and all the runs. And then you have to take the gondola back. And, oh man. And then you're exhausted. So oftentimes we get a hotel in Kellogg there in Idaho, and just, and it was cool, but it's expensive. Like, the whole thing's expensive. Season passes, everything I do is times 3 because of these kids, which is fine. But like, I had to get the season passes, had to get all their gear. You know, as they got into it, it's like, okay, let's get you some good gear. You don't want to freeze up there. You want to have a good board. You have to have good bindings and boots and helmets and goggles and gloves and snow pants and jackets. And then the cost for the season passes for every single one of them and myself. And yeah, it was pretty expensive. And then the drive out there, it's not close. It takes forever. So we'd often stay at the hotels. That would take a lot of money. And then when you go up the ski lodge, you want to eat while you're up there, or get some beer. And yeah, it's just a money dump. That said, it was fun. And we got into it, like I said, all because of, what's her name? So, anyway, I digress. Excited to have the girls, excited to do some snowboarding. But as I think about all that a year can bring, I'm not looking forward to. So the girls will go back home to Missouri the 27th, and then so the end of the year I'll be back to this mode. I'm not looking forward to the beginning of the year. Like I said, my dad, he passed away New Year's Day. But there's like this trifecta. Like the day I moved out, when I was married to the girl's mom and we were all one cohesive thing, it's not as big of a anniversary as it once was. It used to kind of tear me up, but still, that's January 3rd is the day I moved out. The whole family dynamic changed, and it is what it is, but it's still one of those things. I got used to like being a weekend dad because of that, and I would take them for long stretches and I would have them many weekends, but it was just a whole different mode of how to be a dad. So that was January 3rd, and then the anniversary of my mom passing away in 2013 is January 5th. And then, yeah, my ex that I was engaged to, her birthday is January 4th. So it's like, boom, 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 boom. Only thing is January 2nd. I don't have anything that hits home that day. But because it's still fresh, I know New Year's Eve is going to be rough. I'm quite confident I'm just going to get plastered and forget about life. And then face it all. But try to have a positive outlook. Think about the people I'm grieving and how much they want me to not be destroyed with grief. Like they want me to move forward and be successful and do what I need to do. So that's a mindset, I say to anybody who's grieving or in that process is like, remember what they would want. They wouldn't want you to be held back. And, obviously it blesses, it's a blessing to think that people are going to miss you so much that they're grieving hardcore, but you don't want them to like lose their life in the process and not be able to function. You want them to do their best. And so in honor of their memory, you actually should forge through and do awesome. So that's what we're going to do. But that said, it's going to be a tough emotional roller coaster, I'm sure. But I will say, if there's streaming going on or whatever, we'll probably enjoy ourselves. And this, doing, working on the book, meeting all the people in this sphere, as I call it, this community, this network, this conglomeration, this whatever you want to call it, has been a saving grace this year, especially just focusing on, I'm putting out this book, and it's really been a saving grace. It's I don't want to get too dramatic about it, but yeah, this is what I needed at the time when I needed it. Like I said, I was working on it beforehand, but to have that, like, okay, all of life and everything that's going on, I can just dive in and focus on this. It's been fun, and we're getting really close to completing this volume 1 of Unconditional Shove. And then I'll be straight into volume 2, but also working on some other stuff. I want to do some cool commission work. If anybody is looking, once I get this all wrapped up and we're kind of past and fulfilled into next year, it's fun doing things that aren't yours. Like sometimes that is fun. But looking to just keep the momentum, keep the building blocks going for Broken Compass Comics and what we're doing here. James and I are working on another story called Sliver. It's a creation that he came up with, but we're co-writing it, and then I'll be probably drawing it. Either way, him and I are co-writing it. But once we get kind of clear of the Bastards and Shove campaigns, and we're kind of focus on that, that'll be fun. And whether I draw on it or just do cover, whatever, I'm just really looking forward to 2023 and everything that it holds for us. But when I think about all the fucked up shit and all the stuff and all the what a year can bring, like I said, my family all lived here close. My dad was alive. You know, thought I was getting married. All this stuff. A year can so much can change. Sometimes this is what I do. I give a fuck. But I do give a fuck. Actually, to be quite honest, I'll even give 2 fucks. You know, I could talk about all these things, and it's just kind of like filling you in. It's all personal stuff, I know, but you know, I hope it kind of paints a little perspective of, like, you know, when you're dealing with people in this sphere, as I call it, you know, realizing that everybody's got their own lives and their own shit going on, and you never know what you're dealing with. You know, you never know where someone's at. And you never know, I will say, like with a smaller campaign like the one I have, you know, we're getting really close to funding. It's great. But nonetheless, it's one of those, it's so small that every backer, you feel it. You are connected to it. So every single person who invests in it, I take it in like it means the world to me. It's not like if you have a bigger campaign where you can't keep track of everybody who backs, you know, you say, and you do appreciate every single one, but you don't know every single one. You don't have this like connection, like every single backer that comes in. It's just like, whoa, another person believes in it and is excited for this and is throwing down their hard-earned money to reserve their copy and get on ground floor on this cool concept that I'm creating and I'm excited to bring to you. And yeah, so the future's bright. We got a lot going on. Drawing pages. We're getting close to finishing the entire line work for the entire book. Demir, the colorist, my colorist, is almost done with all of the pages for Monsters Exist, which is the bulk story. It's actually bigger than With Friends Like These. And we're just moving right along, you know. So anyway, this video is getting really long. Lots to talk about. I probably didn't even touch on half the things I wanted to. That said, if you have not checked out Unconditional Shove, what the hell are you waiting for? What the hell do you need to check the... No. Check it out. I'll put the link down in the description. Click the link. Go there. Strongly consider backing this project and reserving your copies. We have black and white. If you love black and white artwork. We have full color if you just prefer your comics to be in full color. And we have both. And you save a bit of coin by getting both. And also, if you're very emboldened and really want to get in on the ground floor and really own a piece of history, a piece of my heart and soul on a page, you can back that Unconditional Fan Pack tier and get yourself a page of interior original art. Like I said, even, who knows, maybe one of the 2 that I've already backed it will get that one. I know that's kind of a popular page, but there's so many cool pages, and you'll have your pick of a very good choice of pages, even if you come late. But nonetheless, it gets you in on the ground floor. It means the world to me. And as I'm rambling, as I do, I will say cheers to you all. I hope, even if you're dealing with blizzards, that you're forging ahead, living your life, and whatever obstacles you're facing, whatever trials come your way, I hope that you are facing them with power, with courage, with integrity, with a critical mind, and with an appreciation for every trial that comes your way is a chance to become stronger, become smarter, become wiser, to overcome, to take that challenge and become better than you were before you faced it. I get to take my own advice with that. It's good advice, trust me. That said, I hope if you do, you do that, you face it head on, and that you are all doing pure awesome, and just be awesome. Despite all the hurdles, despite all the things that come onto your melon that just feel oppressive and crazy, just remember, these are the things that make you who you are. You find out who you are and you become stronger in them. So don't run away from them. Don't shy from facing them head on and being strong and awesome. That's the motivational ending. This is Odin. I am Odin. And I will see you next time.